I think Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood represents their sins better than Seven Deadly Sins though, but that's my opinion. Now, what I will say is you are absolutely correct when it comes to the literal sense, but they also have very different purposes for how the characters are written in the first place. Because when it comes to the sins in FMAB, they're all villainous homunculi who were explicitly designed by Father to be the absolute embodiment of their sin. With the exception of Führer Bradley, the Sin of Wrath, who started off as a human then later got genetically modified by the Philosopher's Stone, causing him to lose his humanity. As well as Ling Yao, who merged with the Second Greed due to his own personal greed, but kept his humanity and later had an actual redemption arc, unlike any of the others. Essentially, they remain static, villainous, non-human embodiments of their sin that need to be defeated. In fact, gluttony, lust, envy, and sloth don't even have real names. Whereas when you compare it to these guys, it's a different story because they are meant to be our protagonists. The twist here is each of them holds a reputation for a crime they've been blamed for and then loosely embodies it within their personality. Meliodas, Wrath, is a crash out. Ban, while being falsely accused of killing Elaine out of greed, still grew up as a bandit and his magic style embodies that with Snatch, Fox Hunt, Physical Hunt, Hunterfest, etc. King Sloth spends like 70% of the show laying down on his chastieful. Deanne, while being falsely accused of attacking Matrona due to her envy for her status and power, is still envious of the size of humans and wishes she could be small like them, as a giant. Gother, while being falsely accused of violating and killing Naja, still displays an insatiable lust for understanding human emotions and acquiring a heart, often seen manipulating other people's hearts and emotions because of it. Merlin's an absolute glutton for knowledge. And I would actually argue that Escanor probably embodies pride better than Salim Bradley. And since these are supposed to be our good guys and saviors, you can't exactly display them showing absolute sins, but it's more so how the world views them. Because let's be honest, we would not have a real story if they actually acted like these guys from Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. So considering that sins are bad, I think it should make perfect sense why the villainous homunculi embodiments would simply display them better. But again, completely different purposes, right? The Seven Deadly Sins led by Meliodas embody them closer to what you'd expect from an actual human being, whereas these guys embody them more in an absolute exaggerated sense because their purpose is to be villains. And if anything, you could probably argue that this is how most of Britannia sees the Seven Deadly Sins as they work to prove themselves as heroes throughout the story.